since 2004. And he does not understand the seriousness of giving us an accurate statement. He did say that he didn't have his gadgets with us, which was not even captured in the statement. But this is showing the rot and the systemic problems we have in this country of people not taking Parliament serious. And this is the reason why Parliament has no teeth to be able to do anything. You cannot just come to Parliament and you have not checked the statement, you're not sure, then you say, oh, it's thumb sucking. And he just said it as a matter of factly. So this is a message that the EFF wants to send out loud and clear. We are there in Parliament, we are representing our constituency, and we are representing them to the best of our ability. And anybody who's going to come to this committee as we go forward is not going to take the People's Parliament for granted, not under the watch of the economic freedom fighters.
His witness statement did go through his legal team as well as the hands of the evidence leader of the committee in itself.
Exactly that. So it was, from what we understand, the evidence leaders prepared it and sent it. But even for him to sign his statement in of itself, I think it was 24 pages. I mean, literally the date when he said he got the message and he had to confirm with Lieutenant General Kwanazi. And then 5 statements or paragraphs later, it's a different date. How do you not pick that up? It tells you of a person who does not care about Parliament, doesn't take his oath of office serious, or never has taken his office or his statement serious at all. So we're not going to tolerate that. And then also just to be so brash about it.
Mr. Davis, live on Newsroom 405. We just want to know, he says the reason why he couldn't pinpoint the exact date is because of the search and seizure that took place on his property and the seizure of his gadgets. That's his laptop and his cell phone, and that's the reason why he couldn't account for the exact dates. Does Parliament or the ad hoc committee not find that to be a legitimate excuse for the reason why they hit?
It can't be, not for someone who was in the police force since 2004. Number one, he could have brought that to the attention of Parliament. It could have been highlighted in his statement. And number two, he could have came to the committee and we could have made a request to say, can he have access to his documents to get the dates? Outside of that is that there's not that many dates that are in his statement in the first place. So it's not like he needed 2-3 weeks to be able to get that information. And quite honestly, if he was an efficient chief of staff, he could have contacted the PA, which date was this, which date was that, and concluded. And been able to do that. So while we understand, and I think he overused that thing about his gadgets being seized, it was unnecessary. There weren't that many dates, but we do understand that could have been the reason, but not someone who's been in the service since 2004, yet alone a chief of staff for the Minister of Police. It's a no.
There were issues around a conflict when Lisa Schikkeling, the alternate member of the DA, laid a similar complaint against Senzo Tulu in the same police station. Are you not worried that maybe you might also have an issue of a conflict when it comes to Nkabinde coming back to Parliament and you sitting in during that hearing?
But it's no conflict. We concluded even as a committee, that this was perjury and that he misled it. So there's nothing conflict. And for the DA to withdraw her for conflict of interest is neither here or there. We don't understand why they took that decision, yet Collard Barnard is still there. It makes no sense.
What does the EFF hope to achieve from a perjury charge? I mean, it's not necessarily a charge that is taken seriously. And
you see.
Rightfully said that Parliament is not being taken seriously. Yeah. So in the end, what do you hope to achieve? I mean, given the circumstances and given the situation that we are in, I mean, to see this question is not...
And this is the time that we need to make sure that we are being taken serious, and the EFF is going to follow up on this. Perjury, you can't say it can't be taken serious. It should be, and we are going to make sure that that is exactly what happens.
Are you guys lenient on other witnesses that perhaps gave you guys inaccurate information? For example, that had to correct their earlier submissions, like Kwanazi. I know he's coming back at a later stage. There are some things that he didn't remember exactly. Are you being harsh on Nkabinde and lenient on other witnesses?
I don't, but the issue with the Lieutenant General, but you'd also remember when he started his statement, right? We even adjourned for a good 3 or 4 hours because he came with a statement that was from the Commission. So you cannot say that as the EFF we have not been fair, number one. Number two, it only came to light during Becky Cele's statement that Lieutenant General gave incorrect information. The President, Commander-in-Chief, was the first one to stand up and say there must be apology, he must come back here and he has to amend the statement. So when he comes back, we will make a decision on whether we also need to go and open a case. Remember, the Chief of Staff, straight out, he said that he was thumbsucking. We didn't get the same thing from the other witnesses.
You've obviously sent Nkabinde away to go and fix his statement. On the other hand, you've applied for an extension to extend the work. These 1 month extensions, do you think they are realistic? I mean, in your view, do you think you're giving yourself enough time, given that there are frequent new names that have been mentioned? What do you think would be a realistic time frame for the work? And then just the second question, the evidence leaders indicating that they will be consulting Mr. Mashala tomorrow. There's obviously voluminous work, but they say do you think you'll be able to secure his appearance at the end of the month?
We will. We have no choice but to secure the appearance. I don't think that is even an issue. He's just chilling there in Kosi Mampuru prison. So whenever we are available, he's going to be available. It's not like he's busy selling drugs or facilitating tender fraud or anything like that. In terms of the extension, we are going to have a meeting as a committee. We've all committed that we need to have an end date in sight. I think now we have a better understanding of what it is that we need to achieve. The only big thing that we have now to consider is the public submission, so we'll be able to do that. But Parliament is not going to rush us through the process, and the Speaker is not going to do that. They're not going to tell us they do not have money when they have money for the Commission. It is here in Parliament where budgets are approved, not the Treasury. And this is something, the rot is very deep. So for them to think we are just going to steamroll a process to tick a box and say, yeah, Parliament did something, it's not going to happen under the EFF watch. This thing is going to be done. It's going to be done properly. We are all very tired. It's very tiring sitting there until 12, 1 o'clock, and then we have some members of Parliament who just ask nonsense over and over. But it's something that we have to endure because we want to root out this rot, and we want to send a strong message to politicians, to criminals, to the cartels that one day is one day.
Jan, there are previously been concerns around Nkabinde's suitability in the position of Chief of Staff. And as you mentioned now, you're saying there's so much for a Chief of Staff that's been with the service since 2004. Do you think that this is indicative of the unsuitability or his lack of qualifications in this regard?
In terms of the position of Chief of Staff, I think we kind of have a bit of a different understanding. It's really a position of trust with whoever your principal is. So in terms, really it comes down to that. Look, on paper and even the credentials and his educational requirements, I mean, he was an IPED investigator at some point. So it seems to be aligned, whether on the practical level, whether he had capacity to be an actual Chief of Staff, I don't know. But generally, ministers, deputy ministers, they choose their Chief of Staff more based on we need to have someone who we can trust. And remember, it's mainly in their personal office rather than their political office as well.
Just the last one from me, and what should we now make of the other testimony ahead of the Brown Mokgotsi dates that he got mixed up, particularly his closer relationship with General Mkhwanazi? The other stuff, are we starting from scratch now when he testifies? Because we have the statement, we have a bit of what he already started testifying before the committee. I'm
sure that would be still included in the statement. I don't imagine him changing the statement drastically. But yeah, we will start from scratch as well, yes. Thank you.